So the BBC's gay dating show I Kissed a Boy now features a trans man, i.e. somebody born a biological woman. This is the individual in question. As you can clearly see, there has been surgery done to remove the breasts, and clearly hormones have been taken as there is a mustache, but this is someone who was born a biological woman. Should this person be on a gay dating show? Well, let's take a look at a clip from the show first.
No,
So what? It's like your normal type back home, like.
yeah, mine's quite interesting because I'd probably identify more as queer. So I'm basically a trans man.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I was born female, but then realized when I was about 15, something's really not right. I always knew I liked guys.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like a straight girl. I was like,
Okay.
I feel like a gay guy.
So did you transition at 15?
I started socially transitioning I was about 17.
Okay.
Then I started taking hormones just before I was 18. And then ever since then, I found it so much easier to navigate dating and potential romantic partners and stuff. There's
I have to say, this guy looks so uncomfortable and confused. This is someone who is a gay guy, presumably, sexually only feels attracted to biological men unless they're bisexual, and they've been put on this show, they're sat on the sofa, all the cameras on, all that pressure of making sure you say the right thing, flirting with someone who maybe he thought that this is a biological man at first, taking the hormones, cut the breast off and everything, and is now faced with the reality that this is actually someone who's born a biological woman. And it's completely valid for this individual to maybe feel uncomfortable about, kissing or going any further with this person, but I would imagine he is probably feeling quite pressured and quite scared about not saying the right thing, because if he says on camera, sorry, I can't date you because I'm not into biological women, I'm not into trans men, then can you imagine the uproar online? Can you imagine how the trans rights community and whatnot would attack this person as being transphobic? Because they'd say that people who are gay men who are unwilling to date trans men are transphobic, when if you don't feel attraction to someone who's a biological woman, I'm sorry, but you just can't help that. I feel like the BBC has put these contestants in such an awkward situation. Let's take a look at the rest of the clip.
right or wrong way to kind of be trans at all. But for me, physically changing my body was a necessity for me to kind of reflect how I feel internally. Starting hormones, having top surgery, all of that has just allowed me to kind of just live my life. As any normal person, that's all I ever wanted, was to just live a normal life. Not all gay guys would be into a trans guy, and I understand that, and I'm very respectful of that. Yeah.
Stuff like that doesn't matter to me at all.
It doesn't?
No.
Are you sure?
Of course, yeah.
So he says that doesn't matter to him, but is he just saying that because he feels pressured, because the cameras are on, because he's worried about being called transphobic? I mean, I'm not a gay guy, but other gay guys that I speak to say I wouldn't date someone who's a biological woman who's supposedly transitioned to a man, because I just feel sexually attracted to people who are biological males. I feel like this guy that's talking to the trans man, he looks very awkward and uncomfortable. That's all I can say.
You're a man.
Yeah.
I like men.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah. When he told me, I was
Let's
honestly
put the
had a bit of a lump in my throat, 'cause I was just a
emotive
bit,
music on.
honoured that he actually shared this part of his life with me.
So cringe.
I've always said that I'd been open to dating a trans man, and it absolutely doesn't change anything at all with Lars. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Give me a hug.
No problem.
Oh, cue the soppy music and the hugging and all.
feels.
It's just so cringe. It is so cringe, and you see so many TV shows doing this now. For example, Big Brother, when it changed hands to a different channel, the first series that they put out, they had all of the contestants in the first episode sit down around the dinner table and go round and have everyone announce their pronouns. I think they don't realise that the general public are really not into this, and it's just a few people in their metropolitan elite woke bubble that want the shows to be like this. But anyway, let's take a look at some of the fallout. So first of all, let's go to this article in the Telegraph. So the Telegraph have done a piece, BBC under fire for putting trans contestant on gay dating show, with campaigners calling it homophobic and regressive, asking for the programme to be pulled. So yes, some people are going so far as to say it's homophobic to do this, to put these gay men on a show and suddenly basically be forcing them to, to date a trans man, a biological woman. And okay, sure, they're maybe not being completely forced, they could say no, but as I said, they're potentially going to put in a really awkward, difficult situation, because they're going to face a huge backlash and be called transphobic if they don't kiss this individual. Or maybe they'll kiss this individual out of pressure but feel incredibly uncomfortable doing so. So this is the host of the show here. Lars, as we spoke to, claims to be a gay man trapped in a woman's body. Now, the LGB Alliance, who has done a fantastic job of standing up for gay and lesbian and bi individuals who do not wish for their movement to be associated with the T and considered to be the same thing in the way that it has done. They have said that the show is homophobic in the extreme and horribly regressive. They've written to Tim Davie about this. Let me know, do you agree with that? Would you go so far as to say this is homophobic, or would you say it's just woke? The letter also says any rejection of her, a rejection that would be entirely in line with their natural homosexuality, will be seized upon by activists as evidence of their bigotry and transphobia. As I said there, you could clearly see the guy that Lars was speaking to in that video we just looked at looked quite uncomfortable, but then he said, oh, I've got no problem with dating a trans man. Was he just saying that because he's scared of the backlash that he would face if he refused to date this individual? I think they've put them in a really difficult situation. It is unconscionable to coerce young men in this way, the letter says, and there we go, we got a photo there. It's a spin-off of the show I Kissed a Girl, which was a lesbian dating show. And yeah, let's see what the BBC spokesman has said. I Kissed a Boy is and always has been an inclusive dating show about finding love. All applicants are asked their dating preference and they are matched accordingly. Producers took participants' preferences into account and made sure that all contributors were aware and comfortable with the application, casting and matching process. What do you think of that, guys? Do you think that the BBC have given a good enough excuse there? I'm not too impressed, in all honesty. Now, I had a look on Twitter to see, does the gay community think that this is homophobic, like the LGB Alliance seems to be suggesting so. Well, I saw this tweet from Gay Times, and they don't seem too phased about it. In fact, they seem to be celebrating the fact that a trans man is on the show. They've put BBC Three's I Kissed a Boy Season 2 to feature the franchise's first ever trans contestant. They've put a love heart and a trans flag there, which I think suggests they are lapping it up and they love it. And I thought, quite surprised by that. Let's take a look at their Twitter bio and see what this organisation is like. And well, the Twitter bio says queer content all day, every day, #WithThe #, Black Lives Matter. I think those two hashtags tell you all you need to know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Reasoned if you're not already, so you don't miss out on any more videos like this.